welcome to this explainer. If you are gearing up for a trip to the gorgeous, sun-drenched beaches of Brazil, or maybe you're heading over to wander the historic cobblestone streets of Portugal, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to pack your mental suitcase with the practical, everyday Portuguese you need to navigate these stunning countries like an absolute pro. All right, let's look at our itinerary. First up, we'll cover greetings and your first steps. Then, we'll tackle city directions. After that, we're diving into the surprising transport differences between Brazil and Portugal. And finally, the best part, ordering at a restaurant. Okay, Section 1, Saudações e primeiros passos, or making a great first impression.
You know, when you arrive in a new country, knowing how to break the ice is absolutely crucial. These foundational phrases are simple, but man, they are incredibly powerful. Depending on the time of day, just throwing out a cheerful bom dia, boa tarde, or boa noite is going to instantly warm up any interaction. Meeting someone new, muito prazer, is your go-to. It literally means much pleasure. But listen, if there is literally only one phrase you remember from this whole explainer, make it tudo bem. It translates to all good or how are you, and you are going to hear it everywhere. It's the question, and honestly, it's usually the answer too. Just a quick tudo bem really goes a long way in kicking off a friendly chat with a local.
Now, when it's time to say thank you, there's a tiny grammatical rule that totally trips up a lot of first-time travelers. The word you use actually depends entirely on your gender, not the gender of the person you're talking to. So if you identify as male, you'll always say obrigado. And if you identify as female, you'll always say obrigada. Nailing this right out of the gate means you'll always be expressing your gratitude perfectly. Moving right along to Section 2, Direções nas cidades, navigating Rio and Lisbon.
There's this fantastic local saying, eles conhecem Lisboa como a palma da mão. They know Lisbon like the palm of their hand. And it's so true. Both the Portuguese and the Brazilians are just famously hospitable. So a quick tip, don't just stare at your phone's GPS the whole time. Seriously, don't be afraid to stop and ask someone walking by for a little help. They know their cities intimately, and 9 times out of 10, they are more than happy to point a visitor in the right direction. Of course, to ask for help, you need to know how to ask. These two formulas are total game changers, and you can use them literally anywhere. First, onde é, which just means where is. So onde é a estação asks where the station is. The second one, como se vai para, means how do you get to. You just tack your destination onto the end. Como se vai para a praia gets you right to the beach. Want to hit a museum? Just swap in museu. Looking for downtown? Say centro. Super easy, right? But wait, asking the question is really only half the battle. You actually have to understand what they say back to you. Let's simulate a local giving you step-by-step directions. Instead of getting totally overwhelmed by a fast-spoken wall of words, just listen for these key cues. Sempre en frente means keep going straight ahead. Tome a primeira esquerda means take the first left. And by the way, if they say direita, that means right. Finally, listen for landmarks. Fica ao lado do banco means it's right next to the bank. Spotting these actionable steps just makes navigating a total breeze. All right, let's shift gears to Section 3, Transportes, Brazil versus Portugal, choosing your ride. Now, this part is absolutely fascinating because the vocabulary completely changes depending on which side of the Atlantic you're on. If you want to catch a train in Brazil, you ask for the trem. But in Portugal, that exact same train is a comboio. For a bus, Brazilians are going to say ônibus, while the Portuguese say autocarro. And even for the subway, while it's spelled really similarly, Brazilians emphasize the end with metrô, whereas over in Portugal, it's just metro. So, mental note, never ask for a trem in Lisbon, and definitely don't ask for an autocarro in Rio. And it's worth getting this right because public transit is just incredibly efficient in both places. It smoothly connects these massive urban centers. You've got high-speed convoys easily linking historic European hubs like Lisbon up to Porto, while the metro effortlessly navigates huge, bustling cities like São Paulo and Rio de Janeiro. Knowing the right word is literally the difference between getting lost and getting to the right platform. Which brings us to Section 4, O pedido no restaurante, the ultimate reward. Okay, picture this. You've been walking all day, you're soaking in the incredible ambiance, and you finally sit down at a local restaurant. The waiter walks up and asks, Já decidiu? Have you decided? It's the moment of truth. Let's make sure you know exactly what to look for when you open that menu.
Because let me tell you, there are some mouth-watering cultural dishes you absolutely have to try. If you're in Portugal, look for bacalhau de cebolada. It's this incredibly savory salted cod cooked with onions, and it is a total national treasure. Now, if you find yourself in Brazil, you literally cannot leave without trying feijoada. It's a rich, hearty, traditional bean and meat stew that is practically a cultural institution. Oh, and for something truly unique, back in Portugal, try the porco com queijoas à lentejana. It sounds crazy, but it's this brilliant, delicious mix of pork and clams from the Alentejo region. Trust me on this one. So, how do we actually get that delicious food to the table? Here is your essential ordering toolkit. To start things off, just say "emenda por favor" to ask for the menu. Now, if you're stuck and aren't sure what to get, use this fantastic insider trick. Just ask the waiter, "O que me recomenda?" What do you recommend? If you want the freshest, most authentic local meal they've got that day, go with "Queria o prato do dia." I would like the dish of the day. And finally, when you are perfectly full and happy, you wrap the whole thing up with "A conta por favor," the bill please. And there you go. You are now officially equipped with the linguistic essentials to greet, navigate, commute, and definitely dine like an absolute pro in both Brazil and Portugal. So let me leave you with this. Where will your next Portuguese-speaking destination be? And more importantly, what are you going to order first? Keep these phrases in your back pocket for your next adventure. Safe travels, everyone!